वैसे what does your reel feed look like? किस तरीके की चीजें आती हैं आपके feed में?
अभी तो my
खुद की
सैया हटो जाओ is on my reel feed, but every reel that I'm getting is that. So thank you everybody and thank you Sanjay sir.
What is the purpose of cinema for you?
What is the purpose of cinema?
As in
think primarily कहानी बताओ. जैसे हम when we are छोटू, we have that innocence ना कि मुझे कहानी बताओ. And then जब आपको कोई कहानी बहुत खूबसूरती से बताते हैं, you go into that world and you're immersed in that world and there's a suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
And that quality we have as children.
Correct.
And for me, cinema is that. And that's why for me, it's like I hold on to that because I want that. Because I think cinema is that. It's to be able to just shed all your, baggage, knowledge, belief systems, judgments, this, that, falana damka, and go into this world that just takes you on a journey.
Hi Aditi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining. It's a big pleasure.
So happy to be here. Finally.
Yeah, finally. We spoke about this such a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that it's finally happening.
Yeah.
It's just one trip that I was just waiting to make, this Delhi Bombay trip that
I
was
know,
waiting
and you
to-
come all the way. So
Yeah,
I'm very touched.
of course, आपके लिए यार,
Sweet.
मतलब जरूर. But especially मतलब अभी when वैसे भी मैं घर पे बैठ के अब आजकल रील स्क्रॉल कर रहा होता हूँ, तो every second reel is anyway you only. So I was like, might as well, see you in person.
I'm also shocked. Like happy shocked, but I'm shocked.
But no, genuinely, like, how are you feeling about that? Like, just seeing yourself again and again.
I think I'm very overwhelmed. I didn't. I know that what Sanjay sir makes is always kind of memorable, iconic. People speak about it a lot, and deservedly so. I mean, it is incredibly epic and sort of legacy cinema. But yeah, to see myself constantly, like literally, if I open Instagram and I tongue, like everything, and it's the same bit of music that's just repeating.
But some of it is also so sweet and nice, and I'm sure it must be so overwhelming for you because there are women writing stuff like Aditi Rao Hydari healed a generation of South Asian women.
I saw that. That's very sweet of them, and it's really incredible because I mean, body positivity, being unique, accepting who you are. As a unique, but for me it's kind of like odd because I've always been a petite small girl, and like even for me this was a bit of a journey because when we started Saiya Hato Jao, it was the first thing we started our shoot with. I got sick, I had COVID, and of course I became very, very, very underweight, and everybody started feeding me, and they were like force feeding me literally. Yeah, I was really, I was very skinny. Cut to, Sanjay sir did a trial with me for this Mujra outfit, and I wasn't quite sure what we were starting with, and I was told, that we're figuring and we're doing trials, etc. And I wore this outfit. It was a ghagra choli, and he looked at me and he said, "You've put on a little weight, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, give me 10 days, I'll lose it." And he was like, "No, let's shoot." And we started with the mujra, and I was literally like, just give me 10 days, just give me 10 days, because I was like, how am I going to handle myself, and but I was like, no, this is what Sanjay sir wants, go with it. So that I made this thing in my head, but my first reaction was, give me 10 days, I'll get back to, my whatever, 2 kilos lighter or whatever it was. And then cut to, I'm seeing this, and the fact that how it connects to people, etc., and I'm just like, wow, anjane, mere liye it was anjane mein completely, but it's true, and it's so, I think it's been a great learning for me as well.
Going back to the fact that, women saying that they feel healed after seeing that one shot, was there a moment like that for you ever, watching somebody on screen where you felt maybe, that you belonged in some way?
First of all, I want to give the credit of this completely to Sanjay sir. Because I had learnt the choreography. Kruti Mahesh was the choreographer. She had taught me. 2-3 दिन हमने किया था. But when we came to set, he created this, to dupatta gire or aap aise chalo, and this was completely his creation. So I'm glad that I got to be a part of this vision, and yeah, I mean, it is really incredible. When I came into the industry, I would always be told things like, wear heels, you should wear makeup, you should be glamorous. Because I used to like to roam around with my hair up or without any makeup or in like sneakers or chappals or whatever. And there used to always be this tussle within me, you know. Are you supposed to be in this little box and, you know, kind of be a cutout of what people expect you to be or what you should be for yourself? Authentically, what is you? I think the experience that really, really changed my thinking and made me understand that you are yourself, and that's the most authentic, I mean, that's the most empowering version, you know, and especially as an artist.
Yeah.
That we are all unique in our own way is when I worked with Mani sir. Little things like, you know, just the simplicity of how he presents his heroines, but if they are so beautiful, what they stand for, that they are not your typical glamazons, that there is something real, flesh and blood about them, that there is no makeup on your face when you are, you know, shooting with him. Little things like that. And I think, like, say, even watching Manisha ma'am, when I was, when I was growing up, and saying that, okay, this is also a heroine with a clean face, with just, you know, bare skin. So, and there are different kinds of beauty. So you don't have to be like completely painted to be considered beautiful. And you can, like, if you look into somebody's eyes and you can see their soul, that is actually beauty. So like stuff like that, I think has really made me, it's made me kind of, you know, comfortable with who I am and the fact that I'm me. And people who want me for me and then want to play with that me, because obviously you can't just be me, or I mean, as an actor, you have to play with that. But at least you have to start from that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of course, absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And also in Heeramandi, you know, you play these, of course, the when you get arrested to chota word hai, matlab actually, matlab when you basically are
No
in prison.
spoilers.
Really?
Oh okay. Yeah? Okay,
अब तो यार
spoilers.
देख लिया यार सबने.
अच्छा ठीक है, okay.
लेकिन you play these two versions, right? How was just the experience of, because it really goes from one extreme to the absolute other extreme, right? So how was that contrast for you?
I love that arc. You know, having said that, when I'm on set, I'm a complete director's baby in terms of, like, my jam is to completely surrender, and that's what I really enjoy. Ki be a 5-year-old, surrender, be, you know, ye try karo, wo try karo, ulta latko, gir jao, but they'll pick you up, put you back. So I enjoy that whole process. And a director like Sanjay Leela Bhansali makes that process very effortless in the surrender. And then the challenge comes through that, you know. So I think the part in Shahi Mahal where Bibbojaan is this, you know, very pure-hearted, kind girl who's always looking out for people. She's, you know, very loving. She's love, you know, in every way, in how she interacts with everybody. And I think that purity really, really shines through because her intention is that. But I feel though there's a huge arc, I think somewhere Sanjay sir, and he does work a lot with subtext and layers. You know, I remember even when I was doing Saiya Hato Jao, and I wasn't quite sure how Bibbojaan would end up, because you have a rough framework, but it wasn't exact ki kya hoga, exactly kya hoga.
Okay,
You know, and how we're going to reach to that place.
Got it.
The meters were there, but the embroidery it was getting embroidered at that point. But even when I was doing Saiya Hato Jao, that was the first day of shoot, or the second or third day, you know, by the time we did that particular shot where is the end of the song where she's leaning out, you know, and I remember that he said the neck, you know, it goes and it's almost reaching out to something and your eyes are looking into the distance. And he said, you know, think about it, is this her love? Is it her longing for love, for Wali Saab, for maybe a childhood love, or is it for freedom? And it's all of this, you know, for for personal freedom, for the country's freedom. Like, what is that love and what is that look of longing in her eyes? And that should be at the back of your head when you are singing, even though you're singing a Thumri and it's a love song, you know. I found that really incredible. And in dance mein hamara hota hai ek sthai bhav, which is your core bhav or your core personality. Or for Bibbojaan, I felt it was that quality, you know, that purity, and that love, and that translates into you know, passion, fire, a sense of injustice, because it all stems from there. So that arc seemed very organic, like believable.
Understood. Yeah,
So
yeah.
this girl going from here to there, you can believe that she'll do that because she's the kind of girl that she is. She's solid, she's loyal. And like I say this often because I'm asked this question 5,000 times a day. So people always obviously go with your physicality, right? You look a certain way, and you're sort of, so they'll be like, oh, isko foo karo te ud jayegi and whatever. Oh, she's made out of glass. If you touch her, she'll break. But I'm like, I'll save you in a storm, and that kind of sense of that comes from within. And I feel like I might look a certain way, but I have like there is an inner strength that, and everybody's sense of strength or fearlessness is different. And so too it is for a girl like Bibbojaan. So if you don't expect her to be that girl with so much fire and so much courage, but she is. And it seems very organic that she is. And I think that came from Sanjay sir's head, that he wanted to give her that kind of life and that journey. And I think I loved it. I mean, I feel really lucky that I got to play that, because I love that juxtaposition of, I love that fire and grace it comes together so effortlessly and smoothly in that writing and in that character arc. Yeah. I don't know if I'm making sense.
No, you did, absolutely. You just mentioned the thing that you just said about the fact that there is a sthai bhav in dance, and how you used that understanding in order to work on your character. I'm assuming. No,
I didn't. This is in hindsight, I'm saying.
this is in hindsight that you're saying. But in general, just the आपने इतने time तक dance सीखा है, it's like a whole discipline in itself, right? और मतलब बचपन से you were training for it. Just the fact that you have done that training and that classical training and that understanding that theory, do you think that subconsciously helps you now as an actor?
It must be. I'm very bad at explaining method, what, preparation,
Right.
does this help me, does that help me? I really don't know, because I'm very in the present moment kind of person. I function a lot with instinct and trust, actually. Like I said, surrender. But that, I think, is something that is ingrained in me since I was little. That thing of that, that trust and surrender to a guru. And when I say to a mentor or a guru, that is something that I don't know any other way. So
Got
which
it.
is why it's very important for me, and I realized this after I worked on Cartervelli Day with Mani sir, that I realized it's very important for me to be in those environments where the intention as to why you are making this film or why you are even there on a set is very, very clear. So the intention is for the love of cinema and for the love of telling stories and then all of us come in, form pieces of this little puzzle, right? So
Yeah.
I figure that is the environment that I need to work in, because that is my fuel, what I was saying even earlier, and that is ingrained in me. So, and Sanjay sir 100% works like that. That is his way, in terms of there is this, he creates a very, very immersive atmosphere. He challenges himself the most. Because people talk about a lot about the fact that he challenges everybody, he challenges his actors. Is it difficult? I'm like, he challenges himself the most. So I don't know how. I guess it has helped me.
It must be subconscious.
Yeah, but it's subconscious, because I don't know a life without dance, music, art. I don't know, sculpture,
Yeah.
writing. I don't know, just
Yeah.
aesthetics. I don't
Yeah.
know anything outside of it. So it's something I've just seen around me. So I can't say it must have impacted me. I don't know. But yeah, on set I'm not thinking about that. I'm literally only just like I come like a sponge.
So that's a good thing, of course. मतलब you can't be thinking too much also, right?
Good or not, that's the way it is. Not everybody has their own system. My system is that I don't have a system. I just
Right.
come like a sponge.
Okay. For Bibbojaan's character, the fact that she kind of uses her charm as her weapon, and I remember there was this one dialogue in Game of Thrones. Cersei बोलती है Sansa के character को, if you remember. She have you seen the show? Oh, sorry. But okay.
I think I must be the only person in the world who has not seen Game of Thrones.
Well, it's not even a spoiler, but मतलब सिंपल सी चीज़ है बेसिकली वो एक बच्ची होती है उसको बोलती है कि the most powerful weapon of a woman is the one between her legs, you know, and I think that's something that you see in a lot of now because women are being explored in more grayer characters, right? मतलब villainous characters या फिर in the case of for example Bibbojaan, it's not a villain but it's a grey character and she is also somebody that's using charm and her beauty and her, you know, she's seducing in order to kind of get to her bigger motives. How do you just feel about that? How that is being used for, you know, for showing that as a power today instead of just showing that to show women as damsels in distress or just, you know, objects of desire?
See, I think it's about being unapologetic of who you are and what it is that you want to do in terms of your purpose, right? Of course, this always comes with a lot of judgment. Forget for them, even today, you know, even today, there is a lot of judgment that surrounds women who are unapologetic about whatever it is that they want to do and how they want to do it. My thing is, and this is the way I look at it, I'm like, you have to be able to be okay looking at yourself in the mirror with the decisions that you've made, because we are a sum total of the decisions that we make, right?
Yeah.
And as long as you can look at yourself in the mirror and sleep well at night, you're fine. So I, in fact, coming to Bombay and being a part of the film industry and seeing that, you know, it takes so many to make up this world, it's made me you know, because I've come from a protected space, and it's made me understand that no, judging is not the thing. And also, I don't judge the characters that I play. And it's true, heroines today are way more expansive than they possibly used to be. But I would say that in a lot of the older films that they were like amazing. Like narratives were written around women.
Yeah.
And now I feel that's kind of coming back. But I feel like it's very important to own your sexuality, to own who you are and what you want to do with it, and it's fine. I mean, each to their own. In this context, this is who they are. Now, this girl, even if she doesn't want to be a tawaif, Bibbojaan doesn't want to be a tawaif. Now, she is a singer and a dancer, and people love her, and the Shahi Mahal earns because of her. That's a different matter. But her heart and her brain is on this whole the love for the country, azadi, whatever. But she's a good daughter, so she does everything that she's supposed to. Now they are taught this.
Yeah.
So she's using this, and she's using it against people who deserve who deserve the worst.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not defending, nor am I judging, nor am I doing it. I'm just saying contextually it's correct.
Yeah.
You know, what is there to there's nothing that seems off in this whole narrative.
Yeah.
So I think very cool. And also there's another thing. Everybody will do it differently. So that's another thing about I think Sanjay Leela Bhansali's heroines. Each girl is unique in their beauty, in their fearlessness, in their purpose, in their seduction, in the purpose behind the seduction, or their purpose in life, or their sense of injustice. Each one is unique, and each one will do it differently. So when Bibbo does it, even when she's being a badmash, even when she's you know, knowingly seducing, there is very clear intent there as to why she's doing it. Maybe for somebody else it's a more personal reason. For her it's her larger purpose. So I feel that truth runs through.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it believable. You have to believe that somebody can play it a certain way, right? A character, that they will live out a certain life a certain way. So
Absolutely.
I think that's where the स्थाई भाव comes in.
That's where?
The स्थाई भाव comes in. कि उसका वही है स्थाई भाव. कि
स्थाई
उसका
भाव
जो भी वो कर रही है, that thing कि वो there is love there and there's a purity of intention that has to shine through in everything.
Yeah. Okay, so because again at Humors of Cinema we talk about films and we talk about the impact of cinema. I just would love to know first, like, were you a filmy kid when you were growing up? Were you somebody who's watching a lot of films?
No.
No?
Actually, not. It was not a thing in my
Oh.
home. In fact, my nana, nani especially, I mean, sometimes if they would catch me singing a movie song also, even if it was an older song, like a more classical but filmy song, she would get damn hassled. She would be like, there's so much, there's so much, like there's such great classical musicians. There's, why aren't you listening to that? This
Right.
child, he bigad rahi hai, whatever. But I think all of them also realize that there is artistry here too, and it's also where each person comes from and what each person is exposed to. And for them also, and I really admire people who are older and are still willing to learn. So like my grandmother, in fact, when I actually, like when London, Paris, New York and all released, she said, tell me the story. So I told her the story, and she's very, very educated and she's an educationist. So in my home, books, it was reading, it was like doing classical dance, classical music, playing, मतलब जितना साइकिल चलाना है, जितना खेलना है वो कर लो, but बैठ के picture mat dekho, please. And even the movies that were allowed were more the child friendly, those Parent Trap type of movies,
Yeah.
or animation.
Got it.
But that keeda, I mean, if it's in your destiny, it will happen, and that keeda will come in your zehen, and then it will not leave.
Yeah.
My mother never stopped me. And then subsequently, even my grandmother and all were chill. Yeah, but what to say? Actually, I saw Bombay when I was growing up, and I was mesmerized. I had never seen anything like that, and I was like, "Mujhe ye karna hai." And then soon after that, some years later, I saw Khamoshi, and I was like, "Ye kuch to yahan pe ho raha hai." And Manisha ma'am was part of both those movies,
yeah.
so it was very surreal for me to be with her, on Heeramandi and call her Ammi Jaan, and because she's been so much a part of my that thing of
course, yeah.
this is what I want to do, and also working with Mani sir and Sanjay Leela Bansali. So yeah, that's how that keeda got inside of me. Watching these two masters and Rituparna Ghosh.
Really?
Chokhir Bali, yeah.
Wow. What was the impact of like just Mani? Because I know that you are such a big Mani Ratnam fan. Because even when sometimes we have on Humans of Cinema done some posts, and you have made sure that you will write about a Mani Ratnam film there.
100%. Especially when I'm catching you out on your research.
So, yeah, I mean, would just love to know, just how you feel about his cinema, his films, what kind of impact it has had on you.
I mean, I love Mani sir. I am an actor today because of him, because I dreamt of being a Mani Ratnam heroine. I think a lot of people, have dreamt of cinema because of him and filmmaker. I mean, so he's a very important part of the legacy of cinema in our country. And I'm lucky I got to work with him twice, and I hope I get to work with him more. If I don't, I will do a dharna outside his office. Also, because I keep telling everybody asks me like it's my responsibility. Why aren't you doing this film? I'm like, I don't know. Ask him. He told me something which really kind of changed my brain. It's a very small thing, but it was very important to me. So I went for the look test of Carter Day, which is the love story that I did with him, and I was so like nervous but also excited, because I mean it's like your dream come true, right? And I just blurted out that I'm gonna ruin this look test because I can't learn these lines, and I couldn't sleep at night because I was so excited that nothing got into my head. And this is my one chance to work with Mani Ratnam, and it's in Tamil. How will I learn Tamil so fast? And he just said one thing to me. He said, I'm not testing if you can act or not. I just want to know if you can take my direction. I just want to see if you can take my direction. And I heard him and I was just like, oh, okay. And it literally, like in my brain, I was just like, I'm standing in front of Leelaka and she's doing choreography with me, and that's all I need to be, a student. So that was one huge thing that changed my brain. And the other thing was, when Carter-Valley Day released, people were writing theses about the film, and there was love and there was not so much love, and there's a lot of conversation around it, and I think that happens a lot with Manisha's films, and which is very interesting because it's never like thanda, it's like polar. So so this one I was like sitting with him, and he said Leela is a hit. So I was like, and he said I'm very happy, whatever. So I was just chatting with him, and I said, so how are you reading everything and how do you feel? And he said, see, we made the film that we wanted to make, and now it belongs to the people. And I was just like, that's what it is, right? That's why I said intention. That's why I was like, yeah, that's what it is. It's intention. And so for me, he's very, very important to my growing up. Though I don't intend to grow up, but yeah.
What do you do on the tough days, just in terms of, do you have like a go-to, activity, or how do you keep yourself sane when things are not really going right?
So, again, maybe it's my mother or my grandmother or whatever, because they're very important in my life. But I feel like, again, you just like learn by example. And this is something that my mother always says, that you do your 100% and you be the best version of yourself, and the rest of the world is not your responsibility. So if they want to act like crazy people, that's on them. You still be good to them. And like some people will be like, oh, people come over, like they just walk over you, whatever. I'm like, no, because that is within me, and that is my self-respect and my sense of just being solid. No, I will not allow anybody to do that, and I can be myself, I can be gentle, I can be whatever, but that is me, and that is in my power, and I deal with the world also like that as much as possible. There are, of course, days when I will burst into tears, but that's a great vent for me. In that, I'm very like a 5-year-old. I'll laugh also, I'll cry also, essay. And that is who I am, and I'm okay with it, and I don't see it as any weakness or anything. I feel that this way of being is my greatest superpower. And I also feel like, there's noise in the world. Noise to bahut hota hai. It's up to me to find the music in that noise. And in this thing, you can keep looking at darkness, or you can find the light in the darkness. I'll find the light in the darkness, and that's how I deal with it. So, chahe log troll kar rahe ya kuch, something is not going according to plan, I always feel like kuch to plan hoga. And my thing is gratitude. Be grateful for all the things that are there. Otherwise, you'll keep looking at the things that are not. That's a waste of time and energy, na? But as human beings, kabhi aise hota hai, but I literally go, stop it, don't be stupid, and like change tracks.
Yeah.
And that kind of works for me. I'm also surrounded by a lot of really great people who I believe truly love me and protect me. That also really helps,
Do you get bothered by, like when you see a lot of bad news about the, things that are happening in the world? Are those things that bother you ever, like, when you are just kind of going about your day, or, doing your job, and then you come across something, something really atrocious that's happened? Because I know that you have been somebody who has been also vocal about, how you feel about certain things.
Feeling helpless is not a nice thing. See, because when you see, like, I'm a solution finder. So, kuch bhi hai na, I'll say, acha, isko aise kar sakte hain, aise kar sakte hain, aise kar sakte hain. And like that, I feel like that's, for me, it's like a fun challenge. Like, even on set, my brain will start thinking like an AD. Nahi, ye sahi nahi ho raha, acha, isko aise kar do, like that. So, like, in life, and especially with larger issues, there's a certain kind of helplessness, and that's not a nice feeling, and that makes you feel bad, because I mean they're just too many variables and too many people involved, and it's too big an issue. 100% it makes me feel harassed. But I also think, because there's so much social media and so much, there's almost a kind of desensitization that has happened, so we all get hassled for some time, and then it's just gone, and that in itself is traumatic, because I'm just like, why have we become these people? But at the same time, it's important to keep it together. you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and do what you can constructively rather than, you know, मतलब गुस्सा आप निकालते रहोगे, this
Right.
person is wrong, that person is wrong, that is, you're not getting anywhere by doing that, and nobody's
You need to
receiving.
find solutions in your own capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of content do you consume? Matlab, not just shows and films, but generally like YouTube. Do you watch a lot of YouTube?
I do a lot. I don't know. मतलब मेरे को लोग दिखाते हैं because मैं थोड़ी मतलब I'm a bit of a dreamer and in my own little दुनिया. So somebody will be like, have you seen this? And I'll be like, no. And I'll be the only person in the room who doesn't know. But then I'll watch it and I'll enjoy it, whatever. So I do consume stuff, but I'm also one of those, like, I'll watch it, enjoy it for the time being, and quite often I'll forget it. And I feel like for me that's possibly a better way, because I feel like burden of knowledge is not something I want. Like that kind of knowledge, you know, like excessive. No, I consume a lot of stuff on Instagram, but I feel that in itself, I'm trying really hard to put my phone away, because that is a black hole. Like you just go on and on and on, scrolling, and I really don't want to be that person. I want to like look at the, I want to look at the world, not be like this.
Yeah. वैसे what does your like reel feed look like? आप क्या किस तरीके की चीजें आती हैं आपके feed में?
अभी तो my सैया हटो जाओ is on my reel feed. But every reel that I'm getting is that. So thank you everybody and thank you Sanjay. So that is my reel feed these days. And Bibbojaan's various moods and whatever to different kinds of music. It's too much fun. But otherwise, what are my reel feeds? There'll be a lot of Manisa's songs. Stuff like that. Acha, and when you said what do I consume a lot of music and music videos and stuff like that. That I consume a lot of.
Right. What kind of music do you like?
Hugely varied music. I go from Hindustani classical to Carnatic classical to Western classical to hip hop to R&B to full-on commercial music to Indian film music. I love Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Hindi. To old music, to you name. I love music, and there's always a tune in my head. I'm always like something going on in my head.
Nice.
All my dreams are also set to music.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
What do you mean, like legit, like when you're dreaming at night?
Oh yeah, when I'm daydreaming.
Achha, like that. मुझे लगा ये अलग ही लेवल का सिनेमा चल
रहा
है.
No. Like, you know, when somebody is narrating a script to me or something, I'll start imagining it, like visualizing it. Sometimes in animation, sometimes in real, and sometimes it'll be way more interesting than the narration.
You haven't thought about like actually doing your own music?
So, see, I've never learned music. My mother sings.
You haven't learned music?
No, I've not learned music. I mean, I learned for some 6-7 months when I was a little child, like I was 4-5 years old. But I never learned after that. I learned dance. So because I think I was a vain child. I was like always interested in dressing up, and I just found music class very boring. But music was all around me. My mother always says that I came out of her womb singing. Because she used to, you know, when you put a tanpura, you know what a tanpura is?
Yeah.
So when you put the tanpura, you keep it here. And so when she was carrying me, that she was always doing her riyaz. So kuch to kaan mein padta hoga, pata nahi.
Wow.
So, but the Tamil industry has made me sing. Like I've recorded for a film. I've done a Coke Studio song. I've sung with Rahman sir live on stage.
Wow. What was
so
that like?
It was insane. But if I see the video, I want to laugh because I look like I'm standing in front of school and singing, like my school and singing, because I look so scared. And I remember even at the rehearsal, because I went like a good front bencher and I said, I want to rehearse. He said, you are a pro, you don't need rehearsal. I was like, I'm not a pro, give me a rehearsal. And he said, I'll tell you, whenever you feel scared, just look at me. I'm only looking at Rahman sir singing. Like a real darawa bacha. But it was a dream come true because like I said, Bombay, like that was so much a part of my this thing, and I always said I want to sing with Rahman sir. But yeah, now I want to record with him. But I have Yeah, I've done some interesting stuff in Tamil, but I think in the Hindi industry, neither have they used me to sing. Maybe they don't even know.
But you do want to, right?
I would, but I don't want to auto tune and sing because वो तो फिर कोई भी anybody can do it, you know. Are there like if an actor has certain these things, then to use that and to say that this is what this person brings to the table, and then we embroider with that. So I like that, you know, and I think that's important to me. I'm not saying each to their own, but for me that's very important. So I want to do it when I can add value to something it is that I'm doing. I want the director or the music director to use me for my whatever. I mean, if they like my singing, not just because I'm an actor and that अच्छा होगा. ऐसे
But you are a very good singer. You are an incredible singer, I think.
Thank you.
जितना भी मैंने सुना है.
Without auto tune.
मतलब हाँ ऑटो ट्यून के बिना ही सुना है अभी तक तो इंटरव्यूज वगैरह में.
हाँ.
Unless आपने उसमें करवा दिया हो बोल के.
Interviews में हाँ of course. मेरे में मतलब I have this much power that I can do all this. मैंने स्टेज पे भी +1 के बगैर गाया था with Rahman.
अरे नहीं I तो completely believe you. I तो completely believe you.
My humble flex.
Yeah. By the way, I also loved Jubilee, and I loved your performance in Jubilee.
Thank you.
For me, it's genuinely, and for Anshika as well. Both of us have written so extensively about that show, and we are huge fans, and would just love to know a little bit about that as well, about how your experience of working on that show was.
It was actually really, really wonderful. I went in there very excited. I love the way Vikramaditya Motwani thinks, how he directs, just how consumed he is. He's also a Shishya of Sanjay sir.
Yeah.
And I think it was really amazing to work with him and his team because again, you know, a director with the intention of making cinema and being a cinema lover, they put together also a team that is very
Committed. No.
Yeah, I mean that I find that almost too small a word because commitment to
Right.
honi chahiye na, that's a basic.
Haan.
But like it's also like it's correct in its like why do we have this person? Why do we have that person? Why is this team coming together? What is it that we're making? So I feel like they do everything for the right reason. You know, there's an intention. I can't use any other word to explain it better. So I think it was really incredible to work on something like that. Again, a very, very big scale in terms of just the universe that he was creating. I think for me, after I saw it and after I heard a lot of what people said about it, though I know I got a lot of praise, etc., and it was very different for me to not only look the way that I did, but also perform that kind of part. I feel like a lot of people felt like somebody like Sumitra Kumari and the kind of people that she was possibly based on needed more agency, not just in the plot of Lost Love, but as an actress, as a producer, as somebody who was a pioneer in what she did. And I think that was somewhere it went away, you know.
Understood.
So I wish that had been there, and maybe lots of people have said, why can't there be a backstory to this? Why can't there be a a setup of how she got to where she got, etc., etc. And I think that would be very interesting. But for whatever reason, they decided to not tell that story. But I think that's a very beautiful story to tell.
Yeah. Truly.
Yeah. But I think, but it's also fascinating that at that time, there was this girl who was just so driven.
Yeah,
but
truly.
Also that I think it's that quintessential, like it's an incredible story of a girl who is kind of trapped, but also so emancipated. Like has all the power, all the agency, but is also so trapped by her own circumstances.
Yeah.
You know? I find that kind of dichotomy very, very interesting, and I wish there was more of that. Yeah.
What is the purpose of cinema for you?
What is the purpose of cinema? Think primarily, kahani batao. जैसे हम बच्चे जब होते मतलब when we are छोटू we have that innocence ना कि मुझे कहानी बताओ and then जब आपको कोई कहानी बहुत खूबसूरती से बताते हैं you go into that world and you're immersed in that world and there's a suspension of disbelief, you know, and that quality we have as children.
Correct.
And for me, cinema is that, and that's why for me it's like I hold on to that, like even though I'm teased for it sometimes, you know, like of being like a 5-year-old, but I really hold on to it because I want that, because I think cinema is that. It's to be able to just shed all your, you know, baggage, knowledge, belief systems, judgments, this, that, falana damka, and go into this world that just takes you on a journey and and of believing everything that you see, and it's also about feeling it, you know, feeling what it is that those people are making you feel, and which is why I feel like, you know, what is it that I want, like when I'm part of cinema, like yes, it's legacy, yes, I want, you know, I want that, like that is my fuel, that, you know, the things, the characters that you play, those heroines should live beyond your years, all that is there. But what is a simple thing? It's like I want to go and sit in your heart and I want to make that connection with you, and I think that's what cinema is. It's a connection. It's that my heart makes you feel something. It's like as simple as that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, I completely agree with you. On an ending note, Aditi, again, slightly different from the conversation that we've had until now, but this is a question that I always
This is
end
sounding
with.
ominous. Like it's going to be some hectic question.
No, it's not ominous. It's actually, you'll just see in a minute that it's actually very insightful, and it's just more than anything, it's just coming from a place of myself just trying to understand things better. What does happiness mean to you?
What does happiness mean?
Yeah, to you.
Happiness means to have a heart that is expanded and willing to give and take love. Because for me, there is nothing more important than love. And I feel like even in the world, there is nothing more important than love. Love of different kinds. Whether it's love for, you know, your nariyal pani, your coffee, your director, your fiance, your boyfriend, your mother, your child. That's what it is. It's love. Yeah. And happiness, I think, is also gratitude.
So on that note, I would like to express my gratitude to you. Thank you so much for joining. This was a you know, a really fun, insightful, and genuinely a conversation that I've been waiting to have. I loved your performances in Jubilee and Heeramandi, and I'm so looking forward to.
I want to know, what does happiness mean to you? It's a hectic question.
मैं तो figure out कर ही रहा हूँ अभी. But for me right now, today, it is, you know, sitting here with you, talking.
That's what, yeah, to be in the present, right?
And that's what it is. Love it. It is difficult to practice, you know. Obviously, you have always heard these things about, you know, be in the moment, you know, be in the present. It's not always easy, you know, because the mind wanders so much. But eventually, I think that's what it's about, just reaching to that point, right?
Yeah.
Where you can be in the moment in some capacity.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also all the best for Cannes.
Thank you. Yes.
Have a good trip.
I'm leaving very soon. I'm nervous but excited. Thank you.
No, it'll be great. It'll be great.
Yes. Thank you.
Chalo, thank you so much, Aditi. And this was Aditi Rao Hydari, and this is Harshit Bansal signing off from Hyundai Cinema.